Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Live with Virginia NORML. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws and the Executive Director of your favorite chapter, Virginia NORML. It's Friday, March 31st, 2023, and you know what that means. It's time for us to talk all things cannabis in the Commonwealth and get answers to your burning questions live. Of course. What's going on, friends? Happy Friday, everyone. Hey, drop a note in the comments. Let us know where you're watching. What state are you in today? What city in Virginia are you in? Hey, and be sure you hit that like, follow, and subscribe button so you never miss when NORML goes live. Hi, Sherry. Happy Friday. You know, Sherry, I was doing a webinar with my dear friends Vicki Williams and Sheba Williams yesterday evening, and your beautiful addition to the office, Make Good Choices Friends, came up multiple times, and then everyone wanted to know where it came from. So I hope you get lots of orders for that. Hello, River Boys in Texas. Hey, James. Hey, Zach in Vegas and Utah. Good to see you. Hey, Zach, if you are doing advocacy work in Utah, I hope you're connected with Truce. They're doing super work in Utah. Hey, No in South Carolina. Dorothy in Fredericksburg. Hey, JT, good to see you. And hello, John. All right, friends, got some things coming up this month to tell you about. All right. Cassidy's going to go find this one for all of us here while I talk about it very, very slowly. Weeding out the stoned. Hey, this is an improvised game show, and it's coming to Richmond. It's been here a few times before. It's absolutely hilarious, and you should come see it. This is in our Facebook events as well, but it is it's coming here on April 15th, because after a long day of doing taxes, woo, you're gonna want to go see this instead. Hey, oh, that's got all kinds of weird stuff on there. Clean that up, Cassidy. I mean, that's not me telling Cassidy to clean it up. Sorry, I fixed it. No one get mad at me for yelling at Cassidy. Okay, Weeding Out the Stone. It is coming Saturday, April 15th at 9:30 to the CSC Richmond Theater in Richmond, Virginia. It's hilarious. The show is at 9:30. I'll be there. Lots of other people you know and love will be there. And most importantly, the show will be there. It's super funny. Weeding Out the Stone describes itself as the game of sobriety tests. Come find out what makes it so hilarious. 9:30, April 15th, here in Richmond. Get tickets now. Now, the following weekend is a really big one for cannabis in the Mid-Atlantic. It's the National Cannabis Festival at RFK Stadium on April 22nd. You'll be able to find yours truly in the new this year LGBTQIA+ pavilion that is being hosted by the National Cannabis Festival. They have lots of pavilions. They've got a veterans pavilion as well. They have a pavilion for seniors. So come see us in the LGBTQIA+ pavilion and check out our amazing Coming Out Green swag. We'll have that there. All right, friends, let's check in with a few more of you here. Zach, glad to hear you are a part of Truce. You're right. Christine is like the Aaron Brockovich of cannabis in Utah. Hey, some big moves in Utah this week, Zach. Did you see that the governor signed the bill to create and fund the creation of the new research center dedicated to medical cannabis at Utah, some university? That's where the end of my knowledge. Okay, comes. It is. I don't want to get the university name wrong, but I'm going to tell you real quick. University of Utah. That was pretty easy. House Bill 230 appropriates $650,000 in funding for the creation of the Center for Medicinal Cannabis Research. And so that's pretty cool, Utah. You're doing some things. You know what other state was trying to do some things with cannabis research? For some reason, they felt like they ought to reinvent the wheel on that. That's Kentucky, but in really, really excellent news, Kentucky became the 38th state to legalize medical cannabis this morning when Governor Beshear signed the bill at his signing ceremony hours after it passed last night. So the House finally approved the measure in its third reading last night, a little after 6. And then a little after 10 this morning, Governor Beshear signed the bill. So that's pretty incredible. Good job, Kentucky. Specifically, Kentucky NORML. It has been a good week for Delaware, John. Yeah, Delaware had their own bit of action this week when it was this week. It was the 28th when the legislature advanced the adult use legalization bills to the governor's desk, House Bill 1 and House Bill 2. On the way to the governor, but what's Carney gonna do? Last year, Carney vetoed legislation similar to House Bill 1 and said, I do not believe that promoting or expanding the use of recreational marijuana is in the best interests of the state of Delaware. Well, once again, legislature is sending them bills to do just that, to legalize the responsible adult use of cannabis by those 21 and older. Let's see what he does. What are your thoughts, John? What's going to happen? Hey, Folly. Hey, Dennis. Hey, Tom. Daniel, yes, the Liberty Bell is ringing in Kentucky. Lawrence, hello to you, Lawrence, in Kansas. I love it. I love it. Hey, Elle, good to see you. James, would I be interested in providing ideas for a rehabilitation facility? What kind of ideas do you need? Ask away, my friend. Oh, hello, everyone. Let's take a quick minute. Oh, Lauren, that picture is so good. What we're seeing right there is a nice picture of Lauren Bratcher and Matthew Bratcher from Kentucky NORML with Governor Beshear, in Kentucky, where they just became the 38th state to legalize cannabis for medicinal use. Hey, everyone, drop some congratulatory emoji in the chat right now for Kentucky NORML. Yeah, Kentucky NORML. I hope Utah does better than Kentucky does with their Center for Medicinal Research. Hey, Becky, good to see you. Okay, that's not relative to what we're talking about here, but cool. Hello, Alan, good to see you. Oh, Zach, I don't know if Kentucky has the largest amount of illegal grows in the country. I'd venture to guess it's not Kentucky, but maybe someone from Kentucky can let you know. That's right. Congratulations, Kentucky. Way to go, Delaware. JT's mad because he's surrounded by legal states. Paul, I disagree with this. The end of federal prohibition is nigh, as one of my former colleagues would say. I can hear the death rattles of prohibition because you can. Listen, it's not going to happen in the next 5 minutes, but it's coming. And it's coming soon. Not soon enough for everyone, but soon in a comparative scale. Hey, Sally in Texas, you should cross your fingers. Also, you should make sure you're advocating alongside Texas NORML. They're an incredible chapter doing amazing work. Hey, Jennifer, happy Friday to you as well. Zach, I'm not certain why we think Curaleaf is Russian owned. And listen, if you want to point that out to me, please do. But since you bring this question up, what do we think about multi-state operators buying smaller stores? So here's what I think. Great for those small businesses that were so successful that they were able to choose, like they're not being forced to sell. But if they have the opportunity to sell their successful business for a lot of money, like congratulations to those people, first of all. I don't think we're in the business of telling people who they can sell their businesses to. And second, there are a lot of expectations for cannabis policy and what it's going to achieve. And I find that fascinating in a number of ways. In this context, we're not going to solve capitalism with marijuana law. And I think people are of the assumption that we will solve the healthcare crisis in America and the mental health care crisis in America and a whole bunch of things like people's ability to operate at remarkably irresponsible levels. But still, listen, I'm all seriousness, like great on those businesses who get to sell their businesses for a lot of money. Good job. And consolidation is the name of the game, not just in cannabis, but in other industries as well. And while hopefully across the United States, there are laws in place that are ensuring that there's the opportunity for equitable, fair, and just participation in the cannabis industry. Those are your state laws, and hopefully your state laws are creating that. But one of the larger looming issues is that without access to traditional banking, it becomes incredibly difficult to access capital the ways you would for a regular business, a non-cannabis business. And that's really one of the largest factors in the disparate ability for smaller businesses to participate. So there's that. Get to work changing laws. I think it'd be cool if everyone spent a lot less time worrying about who gets to make a buck first or next off of consumers and worried about consumers, because there's a lot more consumers out there than there are people who are going to own a license for a cannabis business. That's just what we've been doing for 53 years at NORML. What can I say? Also, what do I think about multi-state operators? I think that they ought to donate to NORML. That's what I think mostly. Because without consumers, there is no industry. And if you can't put your money where your mouth is and stand behind your consumers, I mean, yeesh. Look at all these celebratory emoji in here for Kentucky. I love it. Hello, Jeremy in Texas. Happy weekend to you as well, Della. Yeah, Fonz, maybe they will open up some more dispensaries in New York. There's just a handful. You know, we're actually headed to New York for the Cannabis World Congress and Business Exposition, conveniently known as CB Expo, in June. It's May 30. I believe it starts May 31st and then runs those days. Cannabis Week in the Big Apple. We'll be there. Hey, Wayne, good to see you. Hi, Marcy, good to see you. That's funny, insulin. Oh, James, thanks for asking your question. What are your rights as far as being able to smoke? And you're asking specifically about smoking while staying in a rehab facility. You don't really have any rights for that. Now, if you are looking at how you might be able to smoke, specifically light things on fire and inhale them, I can tell you about this product that I saw when we were at MJ BizCon, and I'm gonna have to Google it because I don't remember off the top of my head. But it was pretty cool. Okay, I don't want to see all these weird things. All right, I don't see it on there. So there's a company called Ardent, and they make a countertop decarboxylator, and they also make this product that allows you essentially to smoke indoors without the smoke getting out. That was a terrible way to describe it, but I'm going to find it and I'm going to share it with you. We've had a little tiny clip about it in our reel on our Instagram, on NORML's Instagram. I just can't remember off the top of my head what it's called. But it's a pretty cool device, and happy to share that with you whenever I find it. Hey, Brendan in Perth, Australia. Good to see you. Is that baloney? I don't know. What about baloney? Hey, Luis. Good afternoon to you as well. Oh, hello, Blarney Stone. It's not a show if someone doesn't ask about guns or seeds. And so Blarney Stone Farms, I'm going to tell you what the law says in Virginia. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but I'm going to tell you what the law says. So the definition of marijuana in Virginia includes the word seeds. Now, this would be a pretty easy amendment, but I don't know if this administration would support it. Nonetheless, today in Virginia, the law that defines marijuana includes seeds. And because seeds is in the definition, that is what prohibits the sale of seeds that are labeled marijuana or cannabis. There you go. So do people do it? I've definitely seen it. Is it legal? No. There you go. Oh, insulin, I love you so much. I'm dead. Oh, Zana in Iowa, I wish the laws were less restrictive there as well. Iowa's got a long way to go. Hey, Sally, thanks for spreading NORML stuff in Hawaii back in 90 and 92. Oh, listen, Heather, I got something to say about this. So Heather says they shouldn't have made it legal for medical cannabis in Kentucky because you can't even smoke it. That is the way it helped people. Not everyone can eat it or use it like a cream or a pill. Look, Heather, there should absolutely be access to all of the potential therapeutic formulations and forms in which cannabis can be dispensed for medical use in Kentucky. But they absolutely should have passed this bill because you have to start somewhere. It's okay to start with something that isn't perfect. because it's a lot easier to come back and make it better the next year. Let's look at, I don't know, public education. Public education has been legal for some time now, but we have bills, multiple bills about it in every single state and at the federal level every single year. It's not a one and done with cannabis policy either. And so it is important that you have advocates who are smart and pragmatic, particularly in these states that have yet to adopt any meaningful reforms. Advocates who are willing to step up and say, hey, this is a great place to start, and be there and be dedicated to keep building those relationships and moving it forward. And that's exactly where Kentucky's at right now. That's where Virginia was in 2015. We went from nothing in 2015 to this tiny little affirmative defense for CBD for epilepsy only in 2015. In 2021, we legalized adult use, which includes home cultivation. So start somewhere, make it better. And I have no doubt that Kentucky will make it better. Marcy, I think that this is super fun. Everyone loves to talk about what Tobacco Hut and what Altria are waiting to do. Like, you know what I wish? I wish Altria would like pony up some cash at the federal level to expedite the ending of federal prohibition. That'd be swell, right? Look, when the end of federal prohibition happens, then you're going to see that then people will really understand what big is. Then you will see big players enter the cannabis space, like Altria, which is a tobacco conglomerate. They're already practicing in Canada. Like Yum Brands, like big. This is big. These multi-state operators for cannabis, they're not big on that scale. That's what big is. Yeah, absolutely, Elizabeth. We should all be so fortunate one day as to have the luxury of choosing between craft cannabis at the boutique dispensary, Marlboro Greens at the convenience store, and pharmaceuticalized cannabinoids at CVS. And in some states, we already have those luxuries, just not all of them yet. It's going to be a place for different tiers. Marcy, it is ardent.com, but I'm looking for their new product. I don't remember what it was. Billow. My brain worked. Hello. It's called Billow. Backing up to that, James. Billow. Billow sneak peek. Yeah. I can't just find a. Anyhow, Billow, Billow. If you Google Billow and Ardent together, you will see it, James. Oh, you meant outside, but still on the property. Yeah, if you wanted to do it outside on the property, it would be up to the property owner to decide that is permissible. It is permissible under law. If it's private property, then it's permissible under state law. But you would just need to get approval, permission, whatever from the facility. James, I think that in this context, rehabilitation facility is broader than what we would colloquially refer to as rehab. Like people go to rehabilitation facilities, rehab facilities for strokes or physical injuries, things like that. Hey, Eric. Oh. Since Richard dropped this comment in here, I'm going to share it with all of you so you can hear what he thinks about the Ardent. Yeah, any progress forward is good progress. That's right, insulin. 100%. Any forward progress is good. Even if you only get 1 out of the 4 things you asked for, still 1 versus 0. I agree. Yeah, there you go. Look at all these people thinking the good things. Wow, Alexander, that's a big number. Whoo! Yes. Cash only locations are at incredible risk as well. Fortunately, most businesses are figuring out how to access banking. Fonz, they could do that, but listen, since you brought it up, Fonz wants um, cannabis to be able to be sold at Virginia farmer and flea markets. I mean, that's not really how it's working in the rest of the country. But I would tell you, if you wanted that to happen, you would have to legislate it. And in order to legislate that, you would have to elect people who support that policy change. You can only work with people you elect for us here, well, in any state, honestly. And Virginians have not done a good job electing people who are supportive of the cannabis policies they tell us they want. So I'm going to encourage all of you to make sure you're registered to vote. Everyone, whatever state you're in, make sure you're registered to vote. You can find that out super, super quick at normal.org/vote. Put your email, put your info in there, and it will help you find out if you're registered to vote. And then it will direct you to resources if you need to register, if you need to update your information. You got to make sure your information's up to date as well. Maybe you moved, you're not voting in the right location. Fix that. All right, so you're registered to vote, right? Ready to go. Make sure you know before you go to the polls. A lot of people are going to be heading to the polls, including here in Virginia, in June for primaries. In Virginia, every single seat in the Senate and the House of Delegates is up for re-election in November. That means there will be a lot of primaries in June. Now, we are in the process already of updating our voter guide. NORML's Smoke the Vote, voter guide to legalizing marijuana in your state. And even after it's legal, this still matters. So you're going to want to check vote.normal.org. That's how you get to smoke the vote. You're going to check that out. You're going to want to know where the candidates stand before you go and vote for them. Make sure you vote. Make sure you know who you're voting for. If you don't know, go ask the questions. Oh, yeah, we gotta ban this person real quick. Gross. Ooh. Ew. There's a lot of these weirdos in here today. Fun. Thank you for blocking all those people. Oh, hitchhiking to my rendezvous with cancer. All right. Do I know of any initiatives to allow federal employees to use medical cannabis? I don't, not today. That doesn't mean there can't be a federal law for such. It certainly doesn't mean there shouldn't be a federal law for such. And I would encourage you, number one, to make sure you are subscribed to NORML's newsletter and our action alerts. And then to check out our ACT page. That's at normal.org/act. And you can see all of the pending federal legislation. So I'm taking a quick peek right now. Pending federal legislation. We do have an action alert up right now, a generic one. Tell Congress to prioritize cannabis policy reform in 2023. And then we have other federal priorities, which are tell your representative to join the Congressional Cannabis Caucus and allow USPS to ship consumer vaporizer cartridges, batteries, etc. There's also an action alert to tell your federal lawmakers to acknowledge the role marijuana can play in reducing the opioid crisis. That's what I got for you on federal stuff right now. Oh, hey, Zach. Let's check out your question. Zach wants to know if there will be access to grants for research in Virginia for cannabis studies. Yes. Do you mean funding at the state level or funding? Funding's available at the federal level right now. How do locals get involved for access to grants? I think, Zach, it'd be good for you to, if you're interested in this, to follow the Virginia Cannabis Control Authority. You can connect with VCA at vca.virginia.gov. And speaking of VCA, since that's what we're speaking of right now, Zach, they do CCA. Oh my goodness, my brain left the building for a second. Sorry. CCA, not the Virginia Commission for the Arts, the Cannabis Control Authority, cca.virginia.gov. Speaking of the CCA, there are a few events coming up for the CCA. Now, I'm just going to drop the link to all of the events right here in the chat for you. On April 3rd, this is next week. This is 1, 2, 3, Monday. Monday at 2 p.m., the Cannabis Public Health Advisory Council will be meeting from 2 to 5. And it's open to the public. It also will stream online. This is going to be in the Patrick Henry building. 2 to 5 p.m. on Monday, Cannabis Public Health Advisory Council meeting. The Advisory Council is a body that meets and provides advisements to the board of directors for the Cannabis Control Authority. The Cannabis Control Authority Board of Directors meets April 13th from 1 to 3 p.m. And they are meeting at the Library of Virginia. Now, you might be saying, hey, I don't live anywhere up there and I don't want to go all that way. Now, you can, of course, participate in the WebEx for either the Public Health Advisory Council or for the Board of Directors meeting. But CCA is coming to a town near you as well. They have a town hall in Roanoke on April 19th. And then they have a town hall in Abingdon on April 20th because they think they're real funny. Anyhow, you can check those out. But definitely if you want to learn more about that funding that will be available in Virginia, Cannabis Control Authorities, how to keep your finger on the pulse of that. You should see the pot bots come here later. Oh, I do see them because we have to moderate that over the weekend, JT. I don't think we have to light up at the courthouse in Virginia because marijuana is legal here now. And unless you like $25 civil penalties. I don't think that's the issue at this point in time. Ooh, an error occurred. Wait a moment, then try again. Well, I'm glad to know that this link didn't post to Facebook at all, but it posted on the other ones. We'll see if it'll post again. Oh, look, we got to block this guy too. All right, there we go. Now it looks like the link has posted on most of the places. So there you go, everyone. All right, let's circle back and see what else has been going on. We talked about Kentucky. We talked about weeding out the stone. We talked about CCA meetings and National Cannabis Festival. Hey, in June, NORML is heading to Denver. You should come join us for the 2023 NORML Denver Legal Seminar. This will be the very first NORML legal seminar that is dedicated specifically to the practice of cannabis law. Typically, our legal seminars have been focused heavily on criminal law, but this is the first one that'll focus on business law specific to cannabis. Really excited for that. Hey, check it all out at normal.org/Denver. Even if you don't need continuing legal education credits or you're not an attorney, it's still a great way to connect with national leading experts on cannabis law, cannabis policy. And while we're there, we will be having the NORML Foundation benefit dinner at the Marijuana Mansion. That's open to anyone who wants to buy a ticket. Check it all out at normal.org/Denver. Hey, I want to tell you all about something remarkable, and that's my friend and colleague, Sheba Williams. Sheba serves on the board of directors of Virginia NORML, but she also is the executive director of an incredible nonprofit here in Richmond called No Left Turns. She's doing amazing work in criminal justice reform and was honored by WRIC. Take a read, will ya? Hey, I also want to remind you that some big changes came to G-Leaf and cannabis in Virginia last week. They now accept debit cards at the register. So these are known as cashless transactions, and it's only for debit cards, not for credit cards. It'll read on your bank statement as an ATM withdrawal. It won't show up as G-Leaf on the statement. There's a $3.50 fee for using your debit card at G-Leaf or cannabis, and there's a $500 transaction limit. So it's great. You're able to split the payment if you want, use the cash first, and then you can put the difference on your card. And it will allow you to pay the exact amount rather than having to withdraw more than you need at the ATM. Of course, there are ATMs inside the dispensaries here in Virginia if you need those. But being able to have this cashless transaction at the register will allow you to get in and out faster and provides for more payment options. It's available at Manchester, so G-Leaf in Manchester, in Short Pump, in Carytown, and in Colonial Heights. Awesome. Hey, Jeff. Good to see you. Richard, thanks for finding that ardent link. All right, friends. Wow, that time just flew by. All right, friends, this has been delightful as ever. I hope you've enjoyed today's chat. Make sure you hit that like button, mash it real good. Hit that follow button or subscribe button wherever you're watching so you never miss when NORML goes live. We do it multiple times a week because we're awesome like that. And we love hanging out with you all because you are what makes NORML go. It's thanks to the tireless advocacy of good people just like yourself all around the country that we were able to make these really extraordinary wins this month. We got some major progress in Delaware and Maryland. Kentucky just became the 38th state to legalize medical cannabis. We have a research facility that got funded in Utah. Really extraordinary things are happening. It's because good people like you are stepping up and joining the fight to legalize it. Can't thank you all enough for that. And I hope each and every one of you has a wonderful weekend. I will see you back here next week. As always, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.